Player 456. You wake up on the floor. Not your floor. Not any floor you recognize. Cold concrete beneath you, fluorescent light above, and the sound of breathing. Hundreds of people breathing all around you in the dark. You sit up slowly. Green fabric. Your hands, your arms, your chest, all green. A number stitched above your heart. 456. That's what you are now. The memories come back in pieces. The subway station, the man in the suit who wanted to play a game, the slap that didn't hurt as much as it should have, the card with the shapes on it, the phone call you made at 2 in the morning because you had nothing left to lose, and a number burning a hole in your pocket. You look around. Hundreds of people, all green, all numbered, all wearing the same expression, the one that says, "I thought this was going to be different." A voice fills the room, calm, almost pleasant. It explains the rules. 6 games. Win, and you walk away with more money than you've ever seen. Lose, and you're eliminated. You think eliminated means sent home. Then the first game starts. A field. A giant doll at the far end. Red light, green light. A children's game. The kind you played in a schoolyard 30 years ago. You almost laugh. Then the doll turns, and the sound starts. Flat, sharp, one after another, like someone snapping their fingers very fast and very loud. The person beside you goes down. Then the person in front of you. Then 3 more to your left. The grass is turning red. You don't move. You don't breathe. You stare at a point on the horizon and you become a statue, and you stay that way until the light turns green again and your legs carry you forward without you deciding to move them. That night they give you a boiled egg and a blanket and a cot in a room full of people who all survived something they're still trying to understand. You lie on your back and stare at the ceiling and listen to someone nearby praying quietly. You think about the phone call. You think about your debt. You think about the number on your chest. 456 people started today. You don't know how many are left. The recruiter. You've been watching him for 20 minutes. The man by the ticket machine. Early 40s, jacket that used to fit better. Phone he keeps checking like it's going to say something different this time. You've done this long enough to read a person from across the room. The way the shoulders sit. The way the eyes move. This is a man who has been saying it'll be fine for so long that he stopped believing it. You pick up your briefcase. You cross the concourse. You offer him a game. Simple. A child's card game. The kind with no stakes. The kind that takes 30 seconds. He loses, which they always do, because the game isn't really about winning. It's about what happens after. You tell him he can settle the debt with his face, and you slap him once across the cheek. Not hard, just enough. He doesn't swing back. That's the signal. A man who still has something real to lose swings back. A man who has already lost everything just absorbs it and waits to see what comes next. You hand him the card. 4 shapes on it, a number on the back. You tell him to call if he wants a chance to change his life, and you mean it, in a way. It is a chance. It's just not the kind of chance most people imagine when they hear those words. You turn around and find the next one. There's always a next one. The city is full of them. People standing at the edge of something, looking for a reason to jump. You don't push them. You just show them the door and let them decide. You've never been inside the facility. You don't know what happens after the call. That's not your department. Your department is the beginning, the moment of contact, the card in the hand, the look in the eye. You're very good at your job.
The circle guard. Pink suit, pink mask, circle on the face. You move things. That's the job. Cots from storage to the dormitory floor, food trays from the kitchen to the serving line, equipment from the loading dock to wherever the squares tell you it needs to go. And after the games, other things. Things on stretchers, things that used to be people. You don't think about that part. You keep your head down, you don't speak unless a triangle or a square speaks to you first. You don't remove your mask around other staff. You don't ask questions about what's being built on the lower levels. even though you can hear the welding at night through the walls. You don't make eye contact with the triangle guards. You took this job because the alternative was worse. The pay is real, the rules are clear. Follow them and you're fine. Break them and you're not. Last week, a circle guard went through a door he wasn't supposed to go through. Nobody has mentioned him since. Nobody will. Tonight, your assignment is the lower level. Steel panels, heavy ones. You carry them where you're told and set them where you're told, and you don't ask what they're for. The next game is in 8 hours. You've been told to have extra stretchers ready. You get the stretchers ready. The triangle guard. You're standing on a platform above the game floor. Below you, 60 players are running. Some of them are crying. The clock on the wall is counting down, and when it hits 0, anyone still moving on the wrong side of the line is yours. You fire. You reload. You fire again. Triangle on the mask, gun on the hip. You are the part of this operation that nobody looks at directly. Not the players, not the circles, not even the squares most of the time. You are the consequence, the thing that happens when someone breaks a rule or loses a game or stands up when they should stay down. You stopped thinking of the players as people somewhere around the second game. You had to. The alternative was thinking about what you were doing, and that door stays closed. You eat alone. You sleep with the rifle next to the cot. You answer to the squares. Clean chain. Orders come down, you carry them out. No questions, no hesitation. Hesitation gets you sent below the facility. Nobody comes back from below.
The square guard. 12 screens, all at once. Square on the mask. You're the one who runs the surveillance room. You make the announcements. You decide which corridors lock and when. When something goes wrong on the floor, the frontman doesn't call a triangle, he calls you. You assign the teams for each game. How many triangles on the perimeter? How many circles on cleanup? Where the exits seal? Where the cameras point? The players think the games are random. They're not. Every angle is measured weeks before anyone wakes up on that floor. The triangles are scared of you. The circles won't make eye contact. Tonight, you've been handed the blueprint for the final game. You've never seen a layout like this. You start assigning teams the way a general assigns troops, covering every entry point, every blind spot, every possible variable. You don't feel anything about the players. You stopped feeling things about the players a long time ago. They're variables, numbers in a system you manage. The system runs clean. That's what matters. The frontman. You're standing at the edge of the control room, looking through a wall of glass. Below you, the remaining players are sleeping. Tomorrow, a third of them won't be here. The game floor is quiet now. That temporary quiet between games that feels almost peaceful if you don't think too hard about why it's quiet. You are the frontman. Every game runs through you. The squares manage the floor. The triangles pull the triggers. The circles clean up after. But you are the one who says go. You weren't always this person. You had a name before this, a life, a reason you told yourself justified being here. The host chose you because you could watch people die and keep the schedule moving. Maybe that was always in you. Maybe this place built it. You welcome the VIPs personally when they arrive. You pour their drinks. You explain each game with the calm of someone describing a chess match. They laugh. They always laugh. You've run these games long enough to know the pattern exactly. Early games thin the numbers. Middle games break the alliances people tried to build. The final game strips everything away until there are 2 people and a choice and nowhere left to hide. The blueprint for the final game is ready. You approved it. You walked the space this morning while the workers finished the last details. Tonight, the intercom buzzes. The square is reporting in. Everything is ready. You stand up. You adjust the mask. You walk toward the elevator. The last game always has the best numbers.
The host. You built this. Not the facility, not the games. Those came later, built by other hands following your design. You built the idea. You sat in a room with people like you, people for whom the world had become so large and so easy that it had stopped being real, and someone asked the question that was already in everyone's mind. What if we made it real again? You said yes before anyone else spoke. You funded the first game. You chose the location. You designed the structure, the suits, the shapes, the hierarchy, the rules. The games exist because of you. Every player, every season, every person who gets carried off the floor, they're all downstream of one decision you made in a room with good lighting and expensive chairs. You don't run the day-to-day. That's what the frontman is for. You set the vision. You approve the final game design each season. You decide whether the experiment continues. It always continues. Tonight, you'll watch the final game from a place only you have access to. Closer than the VIPs, closer than the frontman. Two people in a room with one way out. Maybe you'll feel something. You're still waiting to find out. The VIP. Private jet. Gold mask in your lap. Champagne you've already finished. You do this once a year. Fly in, put on the mask, sit in a room with leather chairs and a glass floor, and watch strangers fight for money that wouldn't change your life in any direction you'd notice. You bet on them the way other people bet on horses. You have a favorite this season, number 456. Something about the way he moves. Desperate enough to be dangerous, smart enough to still be standing. You've tried everything else. The cars, the islands, the things money buys when you have enough of it that you stop thinking about price. None of it moves anything anymore. But this, watching a person realize in real time what they're actually capable of, this still works. The host built it. The frontman runs it. You pay for it. That's the arrangement, and it's a fair one. The jet begins its descent. You straighten your tie. You pick up the gold mask and hold it in both hands for a moment. Somewhere below you, the final game is about to begin. You can't wait.